BTS news. Jimin cries when talking about Jungkook. What's behind it? The studio atmosphere was sharply silent. The camera recorded silently, capturing only the expression of a man known for his warm smile and soothing calmness. But that day was different. That day, Park Jimin, the lead vocalist of BTS, could no longer hide his feelings. The interview was initially ordinary. The MC asked about military activities, solo music preparations, and his views on the future of BTS. But when one name is called, the mood changes. If I may be honest, how has your relationship with Jungkook been lately? The question slid without the intention of cornering. But Jimin's expression instantly changed. His gaze dropped, his lips quivered slightly, and before he had time to answer, his eyes began to glaze over. "It's hard to explain," he said slowly. Instantly, the room was silent. No one wanted to interrupt. Even the MC himself seemed hesitant to continue the question. But Jimin, in an almost whispering voice, began to open little by little his heart. "She's the sister I always looked up to. But sometimes, my attention just drives me away from him." It was an unexpected confession. Jimin has always been known as a very protective figure towards the members, especially Jungkook. From his trainee days to his debut, there were many moments where he seemed to calm, support, and even quietly strengthen Jungkook behind the stage. But over time, the maturity and pressure of the individual changes things. We were once so close, but we were also once so far away that it felt like strangers. The word carries a burden. Jimin's eyes were now completely wet. He didn't try to wipe away the tears quickly. He left everything in sight, as if it was the last way to show the world that he is not a perfect idol, except for the people who lost their way. Internal sources said that both had a difficult time when they had to undergo military training at different locations and times. Jimin, who was on leave earlier, tried several times to contact Jungkook, but did not always get a quick response. Not because Jungkook didn't care, but because the pressures and isolation in the military environment sometimes made emotional communication more difficult than usual. What is unknown to the public is that before Jimin applied for leave to visit the headquarters, he had written a long letter to Jungkook. The letter has never been released publicly, but it is said to contain a sentence that made Jungkook cry in silence in his barracks. "I just want you to know that I'm still here. Even though you are silent, I still wait." The interview ended with Jimin looking down and just saying slowly, "I just want to be able to talk to him again, like before." The video is now widely circulated among the army. Many said that they cried watching Jimin shed tears while saying Jungkook's name. Others admitted that they only realized how deep and complex their relationship was, not just an ordinary friendship, but a bond formed from a sense of interdependence, disappointment, and hope to heal together. Now the public can only wait. After the interview aired, many did not know that Jimin immediately left the location without saying much. He returned to his temporary residence in Seoul, and all night did not open the phone. His manager said Jimin locked himself in his room, just sitting with headphones on and staring blankly at the laptop screen. However, what the public didn't know was that that night Jimin finally reopened one secret folder that he had kept for a long time. It contains dozens of stage videos, rehearsals, and personal moments between him and Jungkook, starting from when they are teenagers to adults. He watched them all, one by one, in the dark, alone. Suddenly, he stopped at a short video. An old clip, about 20 seconds long, that was taken secretly by the staff while BTS was filming a reality show. In the video, Jungkook appears to be looking down at one corner of the room, his face lethargic from training. But then, Jimin appeared behind him, without saying much, put down a bottle of cold water and massaged his shoulders slowly while chuckling. "Gwenchen, yes, Hyung, that's all." But their facial expressions there, full of sincerity, without script, without the demands of the camera, Jimin couldn't hold back his tears anymore. 2 days later, Jimin personally contacted one of the senior officers at the headquarters where Jungkook was training. He didn't want to go through the agency. He also didn't want to be seen on camera. All he asked for was permission to visit the base, even if only briefly, without being recognized by anyone. But what is surprising is the answer he received. He is undergoing advanced training in a restricted area. But I think you can wait. And that's what he did. Jimin sat quietly in the small waiting room of the headquarters for almost 3 hours. None of the staff dared to approach. All just looked from afar, speechless, until finally, a large metal door at the end of the hallway opened. Jungkook walked slowly, still in full uniform, staring ahead with a puzzled expression. He didn't think anyone would come. But when his eyes met the figure standing in front of that waiting room, his steps stopped, fell silent. Can't believe it! Hyung. His voice was hoarse, barely audible. But Jimin nodded. I just want you to know. I'm here. Jungkook did not answer directly. He stared at Jimin for a few seconds, then slowly approached him. No dramatic hugs. No crying like drama. Only two young men have ever been everything to each other, now standing still in a quiet room, trying to understand if there is still anyone who can be saved. But their eyes said more than anything, and when Jungkook finally spoke, only one sentence came out. I missed you too. After that brief moment, Jimin did not stay long. He knows the limitations of time in the military environment. He knew that being there for too long would invite questions from Jungkook's superiors. So he chose to leave without saying a word, just patted Jungkook's arm and said quietly, "Take good care of yourself. I'll be right back." But the steps felt heavy. Only this time, after so many years of being side by side on stage, have they really become strangers trying to get to know each other again, from a distance that can't be cut with a simple text message or video call. Jungkook stared at Jimin's back until he disappeared behind a large iron door. Then he went back inside, but everyone around him knew that his face was no longer the same. He seemed to come back to life, said one of the fellow military trainers who had a chance to see, as if the weight on his chest was slightly lifted. Since that day, many agency staff have noticed changes in Jungkook. It becomes more focused, quieter, even more often smile when you're calling someone at nightfall, although he always stays away from the crowd when doing so. Jimin, on the other hand, began to return to his activities. But now he is more careful in answering public questions. Whenever there is an interview, he looks restrained, especially when it comes to topics about Jungkook. He only answered with 1 or 2 words, then smiled a little and lowered his head. But what made the army speculate again was Jimin's upload on a community account a few days later, a photo of the evening sky from an airplane window, with caption, sometimes, "Just one word can turn everything back on." It didn't take long for fans to realize this isn't just any ordinary caption. This is an echo of the meeting, a feeling that still hangs between the two of them. On another night, when the autumn wind began to blow cold air into Seoul, Jimin sat in his apartment room and opened a small notebook that he had kept for a long time. There, he wrote something. Not lyrics, not poetry, but a letter. Jungkook, I don't know how to fix everything, but I know one thing. I never stopped caring. Even when we're not talking to each other, I'm waiting for you. Stay proud of you. And I wish you knew that. If you read this one day, don't be surprised. Because even in silence, I'm still here. The letter he folded, he put it back in the notebook. Not sent, not photographed, just saved. But he knew there were things that did not need to be said directly, because one meeting, one sentence, it is enough to convey everything. Jimin and Jungkook's relationship may not be as intense as it used to be. They can no longer greet each other every day, cannot share the stage as they used to. But they remain connected by history, by tacit understanding, and by small moments that cannot be forgotten. They may choose not to talk much in front of the camera. But ARMY knows, sometimes love and friendship don't always have to be celebrated with a hug or a spotlight. Sometimes it's just one visit, one look, and one honest word from the heart. I missed you too. Because of everything that changes, one thing remains the same. Jungkook, never really separated.